Hello and welcome to the Week 8 episode of Tossin' the Pigskin. As always, I'm your host, Nate Smith. Hard to believe, but we're already at the halfway point of this 2020 NFL season. As is customary, y'all know the drill by now. We're going to start by recapping what happened Week 7 against the spread. Ended up going 2-1, pushing the season record to 10-11 overall. So hopefully with these Week 8 picks, we can finally get over that 500 mark. But first and foremost, what happened in Week 7? As I mentioned, we went 2-1, and really it was the tale of some kickers. First off, we had Steelers money line at the Titans. That bet did cash for me, but not without a whole lot of drama. Steelers had a large lead in this game. I believe it was up to 20-point lead at one point, but the Titans came all the way back, and Steven Gostkowski, the Titans kicker, had a chance to send it to overtime as time expired, but he missed the kick, which, as everybody knows, the least sweat possible in a sports bet is always a good thing, so didn't have to worry about overtime, and the Steelers money line cashed. Brings us to bet number 2, which was Browns minus 3.5 at the Bengals. And honestly, this one looked dead with about a minute 30 to go. The Bengals scored to go up by 3 points, and the bet was Browns minus 3.5. So likely everyone was thinking, okay, the Browns are just going to try to get a field goal here and send this to overtime. Against all odds, Baker Mayfield led a crazy drive right down the field, and Cleveland was able to actually score a touchdown with very little game time used off the clock. So when they scored that touchdown, they went up by 3 points. But remember, the line was 3.5. Enter another kicker, Browns kicker Cody Parkey. All we needed was an extra point. Didn't happen. Clanged it. Missed the extra point, and Browns minus 3.5 bettors let out a collective groan. So that's a loss, and that's on me. Honestly, don't think I'm gonna bet on the Browns again this year. It's been a mess. Baker and Parkey, not a good combo. Brings us to the last and final pick, which was Buccaneers minus 3.5 at the Raiders. This game was pretty close in the first half, but the Bucs really stepped on the accelerator in the second half and pulled away comfortably. So with that, we were 2-1, but now we are on to week number 8. And the first pick this week, I like the Colts minus 3 at the Lions. And not only are the Colts coming off the bye here, they're well rested, extra week to game plan for Detroit. This Colts defense has been outstanding. Top 5 in both yards per pass and yards per rush. Now, Matthew Stafford and Kenny Golladay are two very talented players, as is the rookie DeAndre Swift. But looking at this Lions offensive line and just the overall offensive unit as a whole, I think this Colts defense matches up well against them. I think specifically the Colts front four, their defensive line, led by DeForest Buckner, is going to cause some havoc, and I'm not sure the Lions can handle that all game long. So for that, and I think the Colts will be able to do enough on offense to win this game by about a touchdown. So I like the Colts minus 3. Pick number 2 this week is Vikings at the Packers. Give me the Packers minus 7 in this NFC North showdown. These two teams have already met this season. Green Bay went on the road to Minnesota in the opener of the 2020 season, actually, and they beat them by 9. Not only that, but Green Bay has only lost one game this year to Tampa Bay, who might be the favorite right now in the NFC, so that's nothing to hang your head about. This Minnesota defense is struggling. They are 30th in opponents' points per game right now, and this Green Bay offense is very efficient. Hopefully, left tackle David Bakhtiari can play in this one. He missed last week with an injury. Still not sure. This is being recorded on Thursday night. Still not sure if we're going to see running back Aaron Jones in this one, but honestly, all you really need is Rodgers and Devontae Adams. They should cause enough havoc on this team. I think Packers win by about 10. And that brings us to the last and final pick of the week, Rams minus 3.5 at the Dolphins. Just from any fan perspective, this is going to be a fun game. Why? Because the biggest storyline is Tua Tagovailoa, the rookie lefty out of Alabama, getting his first start. Dolphins are coming off a bye week, and the Rams are coming off a short week as they played on Monday night, but I don't care. This Rams defense has been sneaky awesome this season. They are first in opponents' yards per pass allowed, which is truly a stat I did not think they would have at the halfway point of the season. Jalen Ramsey and Troy Hill have been two lockdown corners for this Rams defense, and this is just a bad matchup in my opinion for Miami. You look at this Dolphins team, their offensive line is well below average, And at receiver, other than Devontae Parker, they just don't have the talent and depth to really consistently get open against this Rams secondary. I think you'll see a lot of man-to-man coverage, and you'll see a lot of blitzes, I think. They're going to try to hurry up to his progressions and really just make him uncomfortable, and I don't think the Dolphins can consistently win on the outside. So for that, I think the Rams win this one by about a touchdown. Given that Halloween is right around the corner, and this is what we like to call around here the spooky episode, I thought it was only fitting to end this week's episode with a little candy segment, hoping to spark some flames here and get a discourse going about which candies are better or worse and why. So I figured I would lay my personal opinion on the line here about some Halloween candy. We'll start with what I think is the best Halloween candy, and I will definitely get called basic for this, and probably for good reason, but I'm going to go with just straight up Hershey's chocolate. Not the cookies and cream one, not dark chocolate, just Hershey's milk chocolate. It's simple, it's beautiful, it's sweet, but not sweet enough. I just love chocolate, so that's my favorite. Worst Halloween candy for me is none other than the Almond Joy. If you've ever had one of these, you know where I'm coming from. I mean, from the fake coconut gross stuffing they put in there to just the overall quality of whatever chocolate they use, it's just a dumpster fire from top to bottom. And actually, I have a bone to pick with Almond Joys because it convinced me that I didn't even like coconut. But then my girlfriend Vivian convinced me that I did, because she's a great cook, and she made me a coconut pie. And I was like, oh, coconut is awesome. So Almond Joy, I have a bone to pick with you. All right, moving on to the most overrated candy in my opinion. I have a tie, and that's between Twizzlers and Snickers. We'll start with Twizzlers. I just don't get the hype. Sort of like sweet licorice. I don't know. They're just... Visually, they don't do anything for me. They're just the red knots. I don't know, and they're just not very good. Chewy and sweet, but like will hurt your stomach if you eat too many. So I don't get the hype on Twizzlers. And then I say Snickers, not because Snickers aren't good. I actually do think Snickers are fine, and this is probably just a shout out to the Snickers marketing team. They do a great job. They have some of the best candy commercials out there, but for how much publicity and in your face Snickers is, you'd think it would be better. Again, nothing wrong with it. A little chocolate, peanut butter, I think caramel, maybe no peanut butter. I don't know what I'm talking about. I know there's caramel in there. Anyways, Snickers, just too much hype on that one as well. And last but not least, the most underrated, in my opinion, is the Butterfinger. It's just really good. Got some nice milk chocolate on there. And I don't know if it's a nougat, I'm not a food expert, more like a toffee type thing. Whatever that sweet crunchiness on the inside is, I'll have to do some research, but I love it. It tastes really good to me, and it's just not a candy that's brought up very often, and I think it's pretty good. So let me know what y'all think about my candy opinions. Tell me if they're trash or not, and tell me what your favorite candy is. Love to get a conversation going in the comments. This was the Week 8 episode of Toss in the Pigskin. As always, I'm your host, Nate Smith. Please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next week.